Man, oh man, Oceangate is the gift that keeps on giving, and unfortunately for the people that mattered, it's already over. There is just more that keeps coming out about this Oceangate story. Today, we're going to cover a little bit of the recent video that came out. We're going to talk about what was revealed in that video, what the implications are, and then at the end, the least important part, I'll offer my opinion on kind of what I think about all of the Oceangate stuff. I've never formally talked about any of this on stream or on my YouTube, so we'll go through it. Recently, a video was released that kind of is pretty, I want to use the word damning for the crew members that were on the support ship to the submarine. As the submarine goes down, there's a support ship, you got crew, and you got all these saying there's a video released after it hasn't been released for years and years and years about what happened at the exact moment that the submarine imploded. And this new video reveals quite a few things, but the first thing that everybody is talking about is Wendy Rush, the wife of Stockton Rush, literally heard the moment her husband and other human souls literally got immediately evaporated and died. The implosion was literally heard by herself, two other crew members. The second thing that a lot of people are talking about the video is after the implosion, there is a very, very clear bodily reaction from the two male scientists sitting behind Miss Wendy. They clearly knew that the worst probably just happened. Number one, the first gentleman just straight up walks out the room. Have you ever been in those rooms? I've been in the room where you have received some very, very bad news, and literally all you can do is just take your hat off and walk out of the room and just process for a second. You can't even put words to what you're experiencing. Second gentleman, the scientist, knows that somebody has to break this news to Wendy, because right after the implosion, do you see this $1 million smile? A lot of people are talking about this. This is not the smile of, ooh, we just dropped some weights, it's going well. This is the smile of, oh my God, I'm trying to deny the feelings that I know are really, really bad, right? And so a lot of people then point out to that there's a third really, really big moment where, tracking is lost, communication is lost, and you can visibly see in the seat of the scientist, he knows that as soon as the tracking or communication is lost, his body shift in the seat, it's literally the body language of somebody that does not want to tell the wife of this person they just spent all this time working with that he's dead.
We've lost tracking. Can you confirm how many bricks are on the platform currently?
One of the saddest, most depressing videos I think you can ever imagine yourself being in. I, kind of tailgating now into my opinion on the whole Oceangate thing and all that. Oceangate, like I said at the front of the real tragedy of it is the people that actually matter. Why are we still talking about it, right? They're 6 feet under. Their friends and family are mourning them. It's really a testament to arrogance, ego, and not listening to the scientific community. I really think Stockton Rush was the primary villain in this story in the sense that I love ambitious people. I love people that are successful. I love people that got big goals. I don't like people that won't listen to, if everybody in the room is telling you you're an idiot, you should probably listen, unfortunately. And sometimes you're not the idiot. But a lot of the times when it comes to life or death scenarios, you should just listen. It's also the fact that Stockton Rush not only chose to chase, it's okay to go after things that other people won't go after if you're willing to take that level of risk for yourself. He put other people in harm's way to chase his goal, which I think is one of the most evil things you could do. Further, this video is really, really sad because a lot of people, and this is one of the biggest tragedies of this entire story, is Wendy Rush literally followed her husband to the grave. She followed him to the moment the sub imploded and he died because of his foolish dreams. And I don't know how sad that can be. What a great wife. What a foolish. I don't even want to say negative things because it's just sad to think about spending your whole life. And again, Stockton Rush not only promised this dream to these other people that came on the submarine with him in the physical, but he also promised it to the people who loved him and the people who supported him and the people he loved. And it's just the amount of resources and energy and love that man dragged with him down in that submarine is tragic. The third thing that, my opinion, I guess I would say, obviously I'm not in the courts, it doesn't matter, I will never have a dog in the fight, but if it were up to me and I were the powers that be, I think this video shows without a doubt, not only was Stockton Rush negligent, but the entire crew. Okay. Few things in this video. There's even a point where like there's chit chat on the walkie-talkie and like they're asking questions during a live dive. And I'm like, no, like I appreciate the questions, but like this should have been hashed out 1,000 times before we ever put people in harm's way, right? And the other thing that's true is this clip shows that the male scientists knew in the exact moment that it's going down. James Cameron, if you guys know, he directed the Titanic. He's got a lot of work and a lot of experience in submarine work, and he's gone on record to talk about the Oceangate disaster and kind of what led up to it. And I don't want to put words in his mouth. You can go look at kind of what he has to say. But there's a direct quote after seeing this recent video that if tracking and communications go down, any submarine handler ever would instantly know in that moment critical worst case scenario is going down. And that is a dang shame because it shows that not only was Stockton Rush negligent, not only were the people supporting him willing to support him to the grave and a bunch of yes men, but then the people he hired were negligent, and I'm sure that was a deliberate choice. The safety protocols, the people that were supposed to be there to make sure that the worst didn't happen during the worst possible moment, didn't make sure that happened. And that is just another extension of the negligence. Oceangate, to me, it's just irony because even after the Titanic sank, it was originally because humans were arrogant, and then Oceangate happened, and here we are. And, I just made a goofy video about The Matrix. If you haven't seen it, go watch it out. But you see these things, and you're just like, are we living in a simulation? Because it just doesn't, like, how do people with all the money and all the resources, and that is what Oceangate points out, people with money and resources aren't necessarily smart, and they don't necessarily know what to do with it. And it's just kind of begging the question, what is the point, right? Like, if people are going to do that, and that is something that literally people died on a ship 100 years ago. The Titanic is literally a metaphor, and it still happened 100 years later. Does human nature ever change? Probably not. Probably not. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I enjoy doing these type of videos. I'm really enjoying kind of leaning into storytelling and more of, live events and kind of philosophy and all that. If you're here for the raw gameplay and the raw League of Legends guides and stuff like that, if you're kind of my older audience, I have a lot of that stuff still up. I'll still keep uploading Udyr gameplay. We do have a gameplay channel that I haven't uploaded to in a while, but if you want that type of content, make sure to go over there. Thank you again. I'll see you in the next one, and appreciate each and every one of you. Bye!
Dang! Call me so I can make it juicy for ya.